Okay, everybody, we are back. We're going to do this OctoStudio tutorial on modifying sprites. So let's go to the project that I was just working in the last video. So when you create a sprite, hit the create a sprite button there, we'll get this screen. Now there's a few different options. You can choose from all of the emoji sprites that are currently listed here, or you can take a picture of something, or you can import from a photo album, or you can create a sprite from scratch. So also you can modify these with the paint tool. We'll show you that later. But let's talk about just creating one from scratch. Okay. So hit the paint tool. And in here, you've got a number of options. This is very similar to other Scratch programs. So you can, on this tool here, this is where you can layer things and bring them front and back and identify certain parts of it and outline them. So that would be more of like if you're modifying something that's existing. Here you've got a paintbrush tool. This is your color. Notice I just accidentally drew on that. Let me hit the undo button to get rid of it. So paintbrush. You can modify the thickness here. Make it skinnier if you'd like. You can modify the color here. Pick any color you'd like. Ready with me so far? You can erase with the erase tool. You can make the eraser bigger or smaller with that slider. I'm going to make it really big because I'm going to erase all of this. Okay. And there we go. When you erase, make sure you get everything. If you leave one little dot up here, it will consider the entire outline of everything on the screen, your sprite. You can use the paint bucket tool to fully color something in. You do need a solid shape for that. So let's do a solid shape with the circle tool. Actually, let's do the line. Okay, so let me do a few lines here. Make a triangle. Okay, now I can go to the paint tool, change the color, and if I tap inside here, it will fill up the triangle. You can draw other shapes with this as well. Remember to switch your color over. Let's do a purple circle. Okay. And then over here is the text tool. You can change the thickness of the line, by the way, right there. And here is the text tool. So if I hit that, you have to select a text color. You can also select a font style. And then you just put your cursor wherever you want the text. All right, triangle. From here, doesn't matter if it's not centered. You can touch anywhere else, and then you can touch the middle and drag it around or resize it. Okay, so or change the color. Let's do red. Okay, so that's pretty much it with creating sprites. Once I hit the check mark, it will put the sprite into my game. Notice these two are connected as one because it's going to take a square of the full outline. You can reshape your sprites inside the game just by pinching them to get them the size that you want. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about some of the sprite inputs. So you can use the camera and you can literally just take a picture of something. Maybe let's try it. I'm going to take a picture of this pen. Don't know why I would want the pen, but there we go. Pen. Okay. Notice when you take a picture of something, it automatically brings up this outline tool here. So this outline tool is to cut out backgrounds. There's another really cool way to do that, but let me just show you this. So I can trace around the pen here. Make sure you complete the loop. And notice it gets rid of the background there. If I hit the check mark now I've got a Sharpie sprite. Kind of an awkward one to pinch smaller. Maybe that's as small as it's going to go. You could shrink it more with code, but I'll leave it at that. You can also import a picture. So hit the sprite button and we'll hit the photos. And then we can import a picture. Let me find one from what I was doing on a prior project. So where did that go? The Kimochis. Here we go. Okay, so let's select this little octopus Kimochi, part of our social emotional learning program. So just like before, you can trace around it. So if I wanted to outline the Kimochi. I can go like that. I'm doing a very sloppy job, but sort of a similar thing as taking a picture, except you're importing it from the library. Okay, and then I can hit the check mark, and there it is. So you can still see some of the background in this, but let me show you another cool way to do this. So if we go to Apple Photos, and let's select that same, actually we'll do a different one. We'll do this Kimochi. In Apple Photos, on any iOS device, I'm sure Android has something similar as well, you can just rest your finger on this object, and it gives you like this thing that pops up here. What it's done is you can see it kind of glowing around here. It's found the object and highlighted it. If I hit share, and then I hit save image, it will remove the background for me and do it in a much quicker way, much simpler than what we were doing before. So now if I add the sprite and I go to photos, you'll see that it is right there on the top. I select it. The background, it looks like it's white and it still asks me to trace it, but you really don't need to do this. You just hit this green check mark and it removes the background for you. That is the simplest way to do it, and you can do it with anything. You can do it with people, you can do it with all sorts of different things. So that's sort of all about sprites in OctoStudio, all the various ways to create them. When you select on a sprite, let's go back to our cat right here. You can also go in and modify aspects of that sprite with the paint tool. So if you go to this little paintbrush there, let's say I wanted to turn the hearts a different color. I could go to that and I could select a new color for the hearts. Maybe I want them light pink, and I can touch inside the eyeballs and make them light pink. So you can also modify existing sprites and do all sorts of things with sprites. So that's OctoStudio, all about sprites.